I'm now joined by Liberal MP Andrew Wallace. Andrew, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's start with migration, because the record rate of it in this country under Labor has really strangled the country in more ways than one. And it should be. It should be front and centre of this campaign. So it was good to hear Peter Dutton speaking about it today. We can't get Aussies into houses. How unsustainable is it to continue on the current trajectory we're on?
Well, Danica, you hit the nail on the head in your editorial. Well done. It is a Ponzi scheme. It's exactly what it is. It was designed by Jim Chalmers to try and keep this Labor government and our economy out of a recession. It worked for the whole economy. It didn't work for households. We've had 7 consecutive quarters of negative growth for households. The only reason this country has not been in a full-blown recession is because of the more than 1 million people that this government has brought into the country over the last 2 years.
Absolutely. You know, it's all well and good for the Prime Minister to say, oh, well, we avoided a recession. Yeah, well, we know why. And also, inflation stayed higher for longer than what it should.
Exactly
because
right.
of the rate of migration. Exactly. Now, look, Andrew, week one of the campaign has, I think, been quite distracting, thanks to Donald Trump's tariffs. And, you know, when you talk to mum and dads out there, the number one issue is still cost of living. The Prime Minister has looked to shift that focus this week on Donald Trump. But how big of a test will it now be for the coalition to reshift this focus in your favour and get back to message on the crisis that is the cost of living?
Yeah, well, it's a really good point you make, Danica. And I've just been out door knocking all day, and cost of living was the number one issue that people were talking to me about. People just cannot afford to live under this government anymore, and they're really, really hurting. So you're right, we do need to continue to talk about that. At the end of the day, Danica, what we are seeing as a result of these tariffs is the world is in uncharted territory. We don't know what's going to happen. We've seen a great deal of volatility with the world stock markets. But who would you rather, in a time of great economic upheaval, who would you rather at the helm? A party that has absolutely got economic sound management flowing through its veins, or the Labor Party that just continuously, all they know is to do is to tax and spend, tax and spend, tax and spend. Well, I can tell you now, Peter Dutton and Angus Taylor and Jane Hume, they will make up a very, very strong economic team, and they will ensure that we don't tax a dollar more than we have to. We need to get our economy back to small government, as lowest taxes as we possibly can, because at the end of the day, the only money that Australian government gets is from taxpayers or borrowed money.
Yeah, absolutely. You raise a really good point. I want to talk to you about the Teals. Peter Dutton and a number of Liberal figures are reportedly preparing a campaign blitz of Teal-held seats. How do you like your chances of taking back some of these traditionally blue ribbon seats?
Well, I think there's pretty good prospects of taking back some of these seats in Melbourne and Sydney. The Teals have been an absolute unmitigated disaster for this country. They are owned lock, stock and smoking barrel by Climate 200. They're funded by Climate 200. Multi-billionaires from Melbourne and Sydney who want to see a continuation of the 82% renewables madness that has meant that Australians are now paying $1,300 a year more in their energy bills. And if we don't see a change of government, we are going to see more of the same. At the end of the day, a vote for a Teal is a vote for another 3 years of Anthony Albanese. When people can start to understand that, then hopefully they'll see that a minority Teals, Green and Labor government is going to be an absolute disaster. If we thought a minority government was bad in 2010, will you throw the Teals in the mix in 2025, and an already socialist left Labor government will be dragged even further to the left?
Yeah, I mean, it's a frightening thought. And I agree. I can't honestly think of not one thing that the Teals have achieved in Parliament in the last 3 years since they were elected. So, yeah, watch that space in Victoria and New South Wales. Now, before we let you go, you look like you're at a pub tonight, Andrew, but you're actually at an important event shining a spotlight on men's mental health. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm here as part of an organisation called Grab Life by the Balls. It's a terrific local group charity that started out here on the Sunshine Coast by Sam Parker. And the idea is to get men talking. Now, men tend not to talk as well about our mental health problems as many women do. So the Grab Life by the Balls now are national, and they meet around the country at picnic points and have breakfast and things like that. Tonight we're doing it in a pub. But it's all about encouraging men to take responsibility for their mental health. And mental health has been one of my key platforms in my 9 years as the member for Fisher. I've delivered Australia's first residential eating disorder facility, Australia's first research facility into PTSD for our veterans and first responders in my electorate. We need to be doing more for mental health. The Labor Party, one of the first things they did when they got into government was they halved the number of psychologist visits for people with acute mental health problems. And that's an absolute disgrace. We've committed to restoring that funding, and we've even gone better, and we'll commit another $400 million to treat people with mental health conditions.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're doing a great job out there, Andrew Wallace. It's been good to catch up. Thanks so much for joining me on the show this evening. Good luck with the event tonight.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.